So today we're going to be talking about gustar. Gustar actually means to like. Gustar is a little bit different because we do not conjugate this verb like we do the other regular AR verbs. So with a gustar verb, there's two really important things that we look at in order to create this formula. So the formula is an indirect object pronoun, which I'll show you what that is in a second, plus gusta or gustan. Okay, gusta or gustan. So for the indirect object pronouns, that's what's going to indicate who you are talking about. So if I wanted to say I like, you like, we like, whatever it is, this is what's going to indicate that. So the indirect object pronouns are as followed. We have me, te, le, nos, and then we have les. So those are your indirect object pronouns. So if I wanted to say I like, I would start with me. If I wanted to start with you like, I would say te. He, she, or usted would be le. Nosotros would be nos. And then if I was talking about ellos, ellas, or ustedes, I would say les. Now the second part of this equation is whether I choose gusta or gustan. So it always depends on what follows it. So if I wanted to use something that is plural, a noun that is plural, remember that a noun is a person, place, or thing. So if I wanted to say, I like the dogs. So I would finish it with los perros. Los perros is plural because there's multiple of them. And in that case, I have to use gustan. So I would use gustan for los perros. But if I just wanted to be talking about one dog, I like the dog, that would make it singular. That would be el perro. Okay? In that case, I would just use the singular version, gusta. So if I wanted to say, I like the dogs, I would start over here at my indirect object pronoun, and I would choose me gustan, because there's multiple, los perros. Me gustan los perros. If I wanted to say, you like the dog, I would use te gusta el perro. And I would just use gusta because there's only one dog. So basically, when we look at a gustar formula, I can basically split it up like this. When I'm looking at the gustar or gustan, it all depends on what follows it. If I'm looking at who I'm talking about, it's all to whom I am referring. If I'm referring to myself, if I'm referring to us, whatever that may be. So it's really split up. One other thing that I did want to add about the gusta is if it's followed with a verb. If I wanted to say, I like to dance, I would say, me gusta bailar. Bailar. So it stays with the singular form if it is a singular noun or a verb. The only time that you would have gustan is if it's followed with a plural noun. Now let's talk about if I wanted to add emphasis. I'm going to go to the other board so I can practice this. We're going to start as if we were here. If I wanted to add emphasis, what I'm about to write would go here before this part of the formula. So let me go to this board. Okay, so if I was talking about I like, because here I can say I like the dogs, me gustan los perros, but if I really wanted to say I like the dogs, I would start with a mí me gustan los perros. So you always have to start with this personal so then we have me with an accent mark, because remember, without an accent mark, it means my. So a mí I'm going to do this. If I wanted to say you, as in I'm putting emphasis on it, you like the dogs. This one does not have an accent mark. If I wanted to say he, she, or you formal, I would say all these have ahs. So ella, or usted. If I'm talking to one of my teachers and I wanted to say you like the dogs, a usted le gustan los perros. We, so a nosotros nos gustan los perros. And then last but not least, we have a ellos, a ellas, and a ustedes les gustan los perros. So remember that this is optional. I don't have to do this. But it is for you to add emphasis. Remember that I don't put yo or tú, so I would never, ever, ever say yo me gusta. No, I would say a mí me gusta. So here's the first part of the formula. Let's keep going. Remember that the next part, this is part 1. I'm going to say this is part 1A because it's optional. Then we have the real part 1 because this is where we put the indirect object pronoun. Okay, so we have me, te, le, nos, and les. Step 2 is gusta or gustan. Okay, depending on what follows it. And then you have whatever follows. So if I wanted to do we like to dance, and I want to add emphasis on that, go ahead and try that on your own. Okay, so let's look at that. We're saying we, so that's nosotros, and since I'm putting emphasis on it, I want to do this part A, so a nosotros. And then I still want to say in that same category on the indirect object pronoun, so nos, a nosotros, nos. A nosotros nos gusta bailar. Okay, so the reason why I kept this at just an A is because this is a verb. Okay, now what I want you to do is you all like the apple. I'll give you time to figure that out. This time you do not have to put emphasis on it. So you all is plural, so it'll be here. Remember, I'm not putting emphasis on it, so I don't need this. So it would just be les gusta la manzana. You all like the apple. And the reason why it's not gustan is because it's just one apple. One last thing before we go is if I want to say I don't like, all I do is add a no. Where do I add that no? Right here. Okay, so I'm going to make this in another color so you can see. This would be part 1B. This is where I would put the no. So if I wanted to say, you all don't like the manzana, where would that go? Right here. No les gusta la manzana. If I wanted to say, we like to dance. Remember, it goes in between 1A and 1, so that would go, a nosotros no nos gusta bailar. Okay, so make sure that you took notes on that. Adios.